He took a place from the ancient gallery and he walked on down the hall. He went into the room where his sister lived, and then he paid a visit to his brother, and then he walked on down the hall, and he came to a door, and he looked inside. Father, yes, son, I want to kill you. Sir, surrender. Mother, I want to.
They are waiting to take us into the severed garden. You know how pale and wanton thrillful comes death in a strange hour, unannounced, unplanned for, like a scaring, over-friendly guest you've brought to bed. Death makes angels of us all and gives us wings where we had shoulders smooth as ravens' claws.
Perfect. This one's perfect.
Hey, you back there. Am I on? Am I on? Is this working? Sound check. A 1, 2, 3. Sound check. 1, 2, 3.
No, I'm okay, really. It's just a little different for me. Is everything going to be recorded?
Father, yes, son, I want to kill you. Sir, just surrender. Mother, I want to.
So what now? Not again. How many times do you guys want to go through this? It's pretty simple. It's a pretty easy concept to grasp. Jamie's dead and Martin did it. I know because I saw it. Look, I'm sorry. I'm just getting tired of you guys calling me up every time you want to go over this. I have a job and I can't keep backing out of it. Nothing's gonna change. Jamie's dead.
And he came to a door, and he looked inside.
Yes. Martin and I have known each other for a long time. Almost like 10 years ago or so, we used to wait after school together for our rides to come pick us up. And we would play games and stuff till our parents would come pick one of us up.
Ever since I've known him 5 or 6 years, he's always had trouble with his old man, you know, the standard stuff, out too late, music's too loud, too many bad grades. But you know, it was more than that. Martin and his old man really didn't get along.
I raised Martin like I'd raise any child, with love and discipline. That's my theory of good parenthood, love and discipline. Say a kid breaks something, makes a mistake of some kind, wrecks a car or something. You gotta give them the love along with the discipline. You gotta discipline them, but you gotta show the love along with it. You gotta know when to give it and how much to give.
Parents, man, they just don't understand. I mean, they seem so out of tune with what this generation of kids is all about. Every year in every town all across America, there's a generation of 15 to 18-year-old kids that discover some band like Sex Pistols. And believe me, when that happens, some lives seriously change.
Well, it started out pretty innocent. It was the five of us. It was the five of us going out to the farmhouse. Nathan's uncle or somebody said that it was pretty cool that we used the house for the weekend as long as we didn't break anything. It was me, Martin, and Nathan and Jamie. It was all of us, as always, hanging out on the weekends. There's nothing special about hanging out at the farmhouse or anything. It's just a free place to stay that was different.
No, never. Martin wouldn't do anything like that. He wasn't like that. He never said anything mean to me or never yelled at me or anything like that. He was always just as sweet as he could be.
And I'll tell you one thing right now. If there's anyone that ought to be getting the blame, it's that girl. She's the one that ought to be getting all the blame. Ask her.
We dated all through middle school and high school, almost 8 whole years. We did everything together. We went to parties and games. We went to the junior and the senior proms together. Everybody voted us a couple most likely to get married right after graduation.
We weren't smoking pot or snorting coke or smoking crack or anything. We didn't even have any beer. Like I said, we were just hanging out. I started to get tired and sleepy. I'd stayed up late the night before. It was stock night at the store. We had to stock the shelves. So I decided to go back to the house and crash. That's the last thing I remember about seeing Jamie alive. He was throwing Frisbee back and forth with Ann. Martin was just sitting in the grass watching him. That's the last thing I remember.
I tell you this, no eternal reward will forgive us now for wasting the dawn.
Back in those days, everything was simpler and more confused. One summer night, going to the pier, I ran into 2 young girls. The blonde was called Freedom, the dark one, Enterprise. We talked, and they told me the story.
Now listen to this. I'll tell you about Texas radio and the Big Beat. Soft-driven, slow and mad like some new language. reaching your head with the cold, sudden fury of a divine messenger. Let me tell you about heartache and the loss of God, wandering, wandering in hopeless night. Out here in the perimeter, there are no stars. Out here, we is stoned, immaculate. Out here, we is stoned, immaculate, immaculate, stoned, immaculate.
So, what do you think? Would it work? You see, I know what's important in this world today. It's this jawline. You've got the jawline. You've got the makings of a rock and roll star. Look at Keith Richards and Johnny Thunders and Iggy Pop. It's this jawline. You got that. It's the key to success. The jawline.
And I'll tell you one thing, if there's someone to be blamed, it's that kid Nathan. Hell, he thinks he's a rock and roll star, but he can't play a lick on any instrument. He's one you ought to be watching. He's always kept his mind on rock and roll and not doing anything useful.
At the dark end of the street, that is where we always meet.
I did love Martin. He was good for me for a long time. But I'm going to college in the fall. And I guess he thought it was supposed to go on forever. But I'm going to college in the fall. And I guess he just didn't understand that.
At the dark end of the street, you and me.
Jamie was going to college too. He knew what it was like. You know, we were just friends, but we could talk to each other like we were brother and sister. He knew what it was like to be scared to graduate from high school and go on to college. We could talk about stuff like that. Martin couldn't.
Well, it didn't take me long to crash when I got back into the house. I don't know, maybe it was 9 o'clock, maybe it was 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know. I woke up, it was dark. That's when I saw them. They were both just standing there. Martin had this big knife. Nathan was standing behind him. Jamie was on his back and his stomach was all covered in blood. And then Martin just took the knife and slammed it into Jamie's chest while he was lying there. I don't know, I just ran after that. After I saw that, I just ran.
I'm not just going to stay around here in the same small town that I grew up in. Martin knew that. He knew Jamie was my friend. He just knew. He knew, he was aware. I guess he just didn't understand.
Yeah, I was there. And you know, it's just one of those things. It's like that song says. Dun 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 dun. I know what it means. Dun dun dun, but I can't explain. Dun dun dun.
The kids today, they got no heroes. They got nobody to occupy their spare time with. They got no Cary Grant in the movies, no Joe DiMaggio in baseball, and they got no Kennedy in the White House.
I didn't know. I mean, how am I supposed to know something like this could happen?
All the analyzation in the world, all the psychiatrists, all the psychologists, they can keep studying the facts forever. They're going to come to the same conclusion. A kid is dead. Jamie is dead.
I have to go. I have to go now. Can I please go now?
Maybe I didn't like the way he spoke to me, one time or another. Or maybe I didn't like the way he looked at me. Or maybe, just maybe, he messed with something that wasn't his. Yeah. How do you like that?
Today marks a very special day in our school year. Not only because it's the last day of the school term, but also because it's a culmination of a long journey each of you have taken in your artistic careers. We're going to make a special note of an individual today by awarding a $500 general scholarship grant to the person that's shown the most outstanding talent and promise for future artistic work. Well, it's been nice to know each of you, and I've enjoyed teaching you, and you're all fine students. But I won't keep you any suspense any longer, so the winner of this year's project and $500 scholarship grant is Jamie Gerklin with his project entitled Middle America.
As receded and were darkened, the voice continued. The program for this evening is not new. You have seen this entertainment through and through. You've seen your birth, your life and death. You might recall all of the rest. Did you have a good world when you died? Enough to base a movie on?